Hello, everybody. This is Spencer from Buildapreneur, and welcome to Lesson 1 on ClickFunnels. I'm so excited to get started. We're going to be using a few different tools throughout this lesson. I'm actually using a brand new little online whiteboard and a little thing I bought off of Amazon, so I'm really excited to get that going with everybody. You're going to have to pardon my drawing. It's my first time using it, and I'll be honest, I'm a disaster drawing in real life, and so I'm going to be a bigger disaster drawing on this little mini computer screen that I have here. But I'm excited. If you've made it, there's a variety of ways that I get people to come to this course. I'm really excited to talk about ClickFunnels. I've been using it for over a year now. It's only been out for about 2 years, and it's completely changed the online game for me. And so this is just an intro lesson. I want to kind of explain how ClickFunnels can help your business and give a few key concepts before we get started so that these things are on your mind as we're talking about different ClickFunnels and different funnels that you make and different things that you can do within it. I want this on your mind so you're seeing this and applying it to your own life and your own business, whatever that may be. And so we'll get started with that. So very first, I just want to give a quick overview of online selling. And so I'm a digital marketing and online automation consultant, and so I talk to lots of businesses about marketing and selling online. And it really is a simple concept. It can be broken down into basically 3 key things. And so let me pull up my whiteboard here, and we're going to talk about those 3 things. And so selling online is a 3-step process, and that really is all it is. And so first, we'll see if I can draw a square here. We have marketing. So I'm going to identify that with an M here. Like I said, this is going to be bad. So we have marketing. And marketing is basically anything that you do to send people to a location, which online is considered your website, maybe it's a social media page, anything like that. Marketing is how you get people to your website or your funnel or anything like that. And so marketing is things like SEO. People will do advertising. They'll do Facebook ads. They'll do social media, Instagram. Businesses will use Snapchat. There's really like hundreds of ways that you can market online, and you can send people to a website. And so that's what marketing does. You're sending people to your website through tons of different ways. And so let's say that let's draw it down here. Let's say this is our website right here. Okay? And marketing just sends people down there. Tons of different ways you can do that. Personally, and I'll talk about this farther down in the course, I use YouTube, SEO, and I use Google Ads. And so those work really well for me. It really just depends on your niche, what you're good at, what you're comfortable with. But so anyway, you're marketing, you send people to your website, and on your website you have what's called a landing page, which is the page where they're going to initially land on. And that's the page where you need to hook them, right? So many people will go somewhere, they'll stay there for 3 seconds, they'll be disinterested, and they're gone. And you've lost it. You spent the money you needed to get them there, and you lost them in 3 seconds, and you wasted that money. So landing pages are very, very important. Anyway, there's a landing page, or you could actually have an entire funnel. So maybe instead of just a page, you have a series of pages. And so landing page 1, maybe this is landing page 2, right? So we got 1. This is going to be bad. We got 2 right there. And then maybe you have 3. And so what's going on here? Let's say you send them to a page that's just very simple. It's got one button. It says, do you want this? Yes, click here. Okay, they click there. Bam, they go to page 2. Page 2 says, all right, give me your email address, and I'll send you whatever this is you want, right? They say, okay, they give their email address, and they send it. Then it automatically routes them to page 3. Page 3 does something else. Page 3 starts to sell them, okay, pull out your credit card. I've got this really cool product. Clearly, you're interested in stuff like this because I've showed you on page 1 and 2, and so page 3 will sell them. And you can do this for tens and 20s of pages. There's plenty of ways you can do this, but the idea is this is a sales funnel, right? So instead of just one page, you're trying to create this entire journey for your customer where they show up and they go from page to page and they learn about you and they learn to trust you, and maybe you have videos and things and you're interacting with them digitally this whole time, and so they grow to really trust you and be willing to purchase products farther down the line. And so that's a funnel, and that's where ClickFunnels really comes in. So you can build those landing pages where it's just a single website like we showed right here. But typically you'll build a funnel, this journey for the customer. And so you've got marketing, right? We've got marketing right here. We market people, and we send them to our we're gonna say funnel from now on, because typically you won't just have a single landing page. We send them to our funnel where we nurture them, and we try to get them to click and give us information and potentially pull out their credit card farther down the line. So that's step 2. Maybe I'll draw those out here so that makes sense. So step 1, selling online. Woo! That is bad news 1. Step 1. Step 2, right here. we put them through our funnel and we try to sell them. Now, these are two very important steps, but the most important step of them all is going to be step 3, of which I don't have very much room. But step 3 for selling online is gaining the lifetime value out of your customer. And so this means that once you've captured a customer's email address, potentially sold them one thing somewhere in this sales funnel, hopefully you've at least got an email address, but even better, you've sold them something. But the third step at the end of all that is to remarket to them, right? So you have an email address, you've paid money to get them there and to give you their email address. And so, or maybe you've paid money to get them there and to get you to like a Facebook page or to buy a small thing, which then they give you their email address or to set up an account, things like that. You've paid money to do that. And so the big, huge third value of having ClickFunnels is gaining the lifetime value out of your customer, where once you've sold them one thing, you continue to sell them things for years to come through email or through social media or through whatever you've done to kind of capture them as a lifetime audience in this initial funnel. And we'll talk about that further down in the lessons. There's a variety of ways you can do that. Mostly people will use email. So you capture an email address in step 2, and then step 3 of selling online is you're just continually emailing these people, right? And you're not overdoing it, but you're whenever you release a new product, or whenever you're having a sale, or whenever there's just something really cool that you hear about, you'll send it to these email subscribers. And what you do is you build this group of people that love you. They love what you produce. They love your products. They love what you recommend. And pretty much they'll buy anything you give them at some point, because they've grown to trust you, and they know that you genuinely know what you're talking about, and that you don't create things or promote things that wouldn't help them. And so that's step 3, and that's what ClickFunnels helps you to do, right? So ClickFunnels gets people from step 2 and step 3. So step 1 is a totally different game. There's tons of ways you can market. We sell lessons on that, but we're not going to talk about this in ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is all about step 2 and getting that information so that step 3 can kick in. And so ClickFunnels is all of this stuff right here, where we create this beautiful experience for customers that arrive, and we turn them into valuable lifetime customers. So that's what ClickFunnels does. I hope that made sense. I'm really excited to talk more about it. We're going to go over a few ClickFunnels strategies in this intro, and then we're going to get started with lesson 2, diving right in, explaining how to start doing all these strategies and these things that we're talking about. And welcome to the second part of the intro of our ClickFunnels course. We want to talk a little bit more strategy now that you understand kind of what ClickFunnels is, what it's supposed to do for your business. There are a few key strategies and underlying points that you need to understand to create any successful funnel. And so there are funnels that you can use for literally any business. If you're listening to this and you want to make money using the internet in some way, there are funnels that you can use to do that, but you need to understand these key strategies for that to work. And I'm actually going to start with kind of a little story or analogy so that we can understand that. So I'm going to use a story about McDonald's, actually, and this is a story about the McDonald's drive-thru. And so if you know McDonald's, they spend a ton of money on advertising, and they spend a ton of money upselling. And so McDonald's, if you look at the numbers, McDonald's actually spends almost $2. Whoop, that didn't work. $2 to get somebody to show up to their drive-thru. So that's how much they spend in ads to get someone to their drive-thru. And so if you're looking at me, I go to McDonald's and I buy 2 things off their dollar menu, and I'm out of there, and I'm probably not coming back for another year. So me, I lose McDonald's money. Every time I show up, they're losing money. They probably hate me. But that's me. The thing is, if that was everybody, McDonald's wouldn't be able to exist, right? And so there's something that McDonald's understands very, very well, though. They understand that even though it costs $2 to get someone to their drive-thru, that means that they need to be able to make that person spend much more than $2 at that drive-thru for them to make money. And if that person just buys 2 cheeseburgers, they're not going to make money. And so McDonald's understands that they might need to start with 2 cheeseburgers. You get on that special, there's a special for 2 cheeseburgers or something like that. But McDonald's understands that it needs to sell you 2 cheeseburgers, it needs to sell you fries where they make a lot more money, and it needs to sell you a drink. And then McDonald's is profitable and McDonald's is making money off of you. And so that's a concept that you need to understand, because that's very similar to a sales funnel, right? If McDonald's just sent you to their drive-thru and you just bought 2 cheeseburgers, they're not going to make any money. And so the same way works on a website. If you just send someone to your website and you have a product that costs, let's say, $20, and you spend $20 in ads getting them to your website, you've not made money. Best case, you've broke even. But McDonald's understands that they'll sell you a drink. right? And they ask you that, like, hey, can I get you a drink with that? Yeah, you can. Oh, okay. How about I take that drink and I make it a large drink and a combo meal? Oh, yeah, for this much more, sure, I'll do that. And so they understand that they just need to get you to that drive-through. They need to get you with some deal like dollar cheeseburgers. And as soon as they get you into that drive-through, then they can start hitting you with those upsells and tempting you and showing you those pictures of delicious drinks and kind of playing on these passions and emotions that you have. Maybe you're starving. Maybe you just love Diet Coke and they have that huge picture of a Diet Coke up there. Really a ton of ways that they can do this, but they understand that they need to get you there. They just need to do anything to get you there. And even if that loses them maybe a little money or they just break even getting you there, then they can sit there and kind of work their magic on you and work their marketing on you. And that's how they make money. And so the idea, if you're thinking of competitors, right, you have McDonald's, you have Burger King, and all these other places, and they're all doing that. If McDonald's has been able to look at McDonald's numbers and say, hey, as McDonald's, we make an average of $6 when we get somebody to our drive-through. We have this beautiful upsell, and we've got a second thing, and we do this and that to them, and in the end, on an average, we make $6, and it costs us $2 to get someone there. That's awesome, because McDonald's could technically, they could spend up to $5 or $5.99, I guess, to get you to their drive-through, and they're still making money. Now let's look at Burger King, right? Let's say, in fact, maybe I'll draw this out. So we got McDonald's here. There's those golden arches, if that even looks like an M, and costs $6, right? Whoop. $6 to get you to go to McDonald's. Burger King has not quite mastered the upsell yet. Maybe they don't ask you if you want a drink with that. Maybe they just don't make as much off their drinks for a variety of reasons. Burger King makes $4. So every time Burger King gets a customer to their drive-through, they manage to make $4 off them, which still isn't bad, right? If they're spending $2 to get you there. Here's the problem: as the market starts to get more saturated, Carl's Jr. flies in there, and actually I don't even know if they have Carl's Jr. outside of Utah where I am, but all these other burger places start to fly in, right? And it starts to get more competitive. There's more places for customers to go. It no longer costs $2 to get somebody to your website. It costs $4 or $4.50 to get somebody to your sorry, did I say website? $4.50 to get somebody to your drive-through. So $4.50, McDonald's says, okay, that sucks, but ooh, that was a bad circle. McDonald's says that sucks. Well, we can do that. We can do $4.50 and we're still making $1.50. Burger King looks at those same numbers, right? Burger King's looking at it and saying $4.50. We can't do that. We can't spend $4.50 because we're just losing 50 cents every time we get somebody to our drive-through. The more people we get, the more money we lose. And so that is a very key concept to understand, that this phrase, the more you're able to make off a customer, the more you're able to spend. And so, put another way, the more that you're able to spend on your advertising costs, the better you're going to do. And you can only spend up till a break-even point, right? And so you have to be able to make more money off your customer than your competitors. You have to have a system in place where you make more money, and that way you can spend more money than them on advertising, right? In this scenario, McDonald's is going to win every time because they can spend twice as much as Burger King on their advertising techniques and still be profitable, and Burger King just can't do that. And so that is a very key concept to understanding ClickFunnels. When you have anything online and you're running ads or whatever your way of getting people there, it's very, very competitive. There's a lot of people out there doing it. And in order for you to succeed, you need a way to not only get somebody there, but you need a way to upsell them and to sell them more products. And down the road, you sell them even more products. And to kind of have this lifetime value of customers that's not just $20 or $30, but it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars because you sell them for years to come. You have a genuine customer, not just a single product sold. And if you understand that concept, then as you're building your funnels, you'll be thinking of that. I'm not just going to build a funnel and get somebody there and sell them one product. I'm going to get a funnel there and I'm going to sell them one product, then I'm going to upsell them another product, and then I'm going to offer this little kind of order bump where if they, click this checkbox for $5, I'm going to add this free something or other. And as you do that, you're able to spend more and more on your ads, and eventually you're able to spend more on your ads than everybody else, and you're able to truly succeed online. And so I hope that concept makes sense. If it doesn't, go ahead and reach out to me at spencer@buildapreneur.com, and I'll be happy to kind of explain it a little better for you. It's a very important concept, and if it doesn't make sense, then you won't be able to succeed on ClickFunnels, because that's the whole underlying theory behind ClickFunnels. All right, I want to give 3 key tips for any successful funnel to work. You really can't have a successful funnel unless you understand these 3 key concepts. And so as you're building your funnels throughout this course, remember these 3 things are incredibly important. The first one is you need to capture emails as soon as possible. And so usually the way people do this, and you may have even ended up on this on this particular course with this, is you offer something free. You offer something very valuable, like a free PDF or a free training or a free video course. Some people will do a free product plus shipping, but you offer something free so that you can get their email as soon as possible, preferably on the very first step of your sales funnel. The very first page you build, you want to capture their email address, and you want to be able to do that as fast as you can, because the sooner you have your email, if they leave or something happens, they get distracted, they decide to leave for whatever reason, you already have their email. You can start marketing to them from now on. You can start sending them emails and selling them products, and you'll be able to have a lifetime customer as long as you continue to send valuable content to them. So it's key to get that email as soon as possible. Don't ask for the email on the third step in your funnel or the third page of your funnel. You want that email day one, as soon as you possibly can. The instant they're on that page, most funnels will have a very simple first page. It's just boom, put in your email and get this. And that's the only option. Do it quick, and then they can start selling them and upselling them and kind of testing those waters. So capture the email as soon as possible, usually offering something free. I have a lot of different things I offer for free. I'll offer a free hour-long video course. I offer a free, it's a big list of affiliates that I use to make money. A couple other things that I offer, but I give those for free so that people get them and they feel like they're valuable and they feel glad that they got them, and they give me an email address, and then I can start selling them from then on. The second thing is to not start with an expensive item. You want to start with something lower and work your way up. So if I've got, my end goal is I want to sell these courses. Let's say what I'm doing right here, right? Courses, and I'm selling them for $200. You don't want to start with that $200 product, right? Someone just shows up. They're not going to pull out their wallet for $200 for someone that they've never talked to, never met, never got anything from, and they have no proof that they can even do what they say they can do. People just aren't willing to fork out that much money that fast. So you want to start with something small, maybe $10 to $50, and you'll sell them that. This is a cool product, and people are much more willing to pull out their wallets and buy something that's between $10 and $50 because it's not as big of a commitment. So you start with something low. That's your first thing that you'll sell them, whatever that is. There's millions of different things you can do based on your business, but you sell them something nice and small. And what that does is it kind of warms up their wallet. There's all these studies that show that once people pull out their credit card, they're willing to spend so much more farther down the line. It's just you've got to get them to pull out that credit card. You got to get them to spend that initial amount, and suddenly they're willing to spend that amount or spend way more than that amount and spend way more money further down the line. It's like this psychology thing, right? They've already chosen, I'm going to buy from this guy. So now you need to figure out exactly how much they're willing to buy from you, but they've already decided they're going to buy. And you do that with kind of these small offers to get that credit card out. So if you only have one product right now, you might have to get a few more. You might have to figure out how to get a few more products that are between $7 and $50 that you can sell to somebody that offer value. And last, as long as someone is buying, keep selling. And so you're going to build this funnel, right? And it's going to have multiple pages in it. It's going to say, it'll start maybe with a free offer. Hey, get this free thing. And people will give you their email address. And next it's going to take them to another page in the funnel. And it's going to say, that's awesome. You clearly are interested in this. We offer a $29 course that I think you'd love. It'll teach you kind of how to get started in this. They say, yeah, I'll take that. They pull out their credit card, click go. Boom, you send them to the big page. Hey, this is $199. This is everything we teach. It's a great offer. Not everyone's going to do it. Maybe 1 in 10 will do that, but 1 in 10 are doing it. And then those 1 in 10 go through there and just keep selling until you run out of products. If they're still buying and they're still adding things to their cart, you don't want to stop and you don't want to end that session, right? They're handing you money. And so don't make a little funnel. If people are going through your funnel and getting to the end, add another step in the funnel, add another product that they can purchase, and just keep buying as long as people are continuing to sell. And you'll be able to just drastically increase the value of each customer, right? You'll be able to drastically increase how much you make from each customer. And when you do that, then you're able to spend much more on ads comfortably, and you don't have to worry so much about making these perfect ads because you make $500 off everyone that comes to your site. So you can just shoot out these ads, right? And people are going to come, and you're going to make money off them almost guaranteed because you've got such a good funnel and you make so much off every single person on average that comes to your site. So those are the 3 keys to building any successful funnel. Next lesson, we're going to start diving in and building our funnels, and keep those in mind because we're going to have you build funnels, and I want you to make sure you do these things. Don't just blast them with an expensive item from the beginning. Get their email, get their wallet out and warmed up, and then just start selling them, upsell them, upsell them, upsell them. And this is the key to making money online. Than people think. Once you understand kind of how they built it and what they were thinking and kind of the general idea of the ClickFunnels platform, you'll find that it's not very hard to understand and to get started building funnels. And a lot of people will come to me and ask me to build funnels for them, and they'll honestly spend thousands of dollars on something like that. And I try to be upfront and say it's not as complicated as you think, and they just don't want to deal with it, and that's fine. Some people have enough money that they don't have to deal with stuff like that, and some of us still have to deal with that. But you'll find that you'll be able to catch on. By the end of this course, you'll understand ClickFunnels and be able to build most funnels that you want to build fairly quickly and fairly easily. The first step, I want you to look somewhere. I don't know if it'll end up being below or above, to the right, somewhere around here. There's going to be a link, and it's going to be to a Facebook page, and it's the ClickFunnels group. And it's probably got about 100,000 members at the point of me making this video. But what it is it's a support group for ClickFunnels, and honestly, it is one of the most active communities on Facebook, and it's incredible. There's people that have been using ClickFunnels since it first came out. There's tons of people that are always willing to help, because you are going to run into complicated little quirks as you're building your funnels. You're going to have things come up, and it's going to stress you out. And I want you to go to this Facebook page, and I want you to post your question. And I promise you, almost always a couple people will join in. They'll let you know they had a similar issue, and they'll let you know they resolved it. It's a really cool community. So that's the first thing. And I would honestly right now get on there, just introduce yourself, say you're taking Builderpreneur's course and you're excited to get started with ClickFunnels. You'll have a lot of people introduce themselves to you. It's a really cool thing. And the only thing I ask is that when you master ClickFunnels and when you start making money off ClickFunnels, please bear in mind that Facebook page and continue to actively get on there, and you can help the newer people as they come. And that's how ClickFunnels works. Is it's a really big group of people that are along different ranges of this path, and they're all willing to help people that aren't quite as far along as they are. And so that's really cool. Click that link, follow that Facebook page. I promise you won't regret that you did. So let's talk about a few things. We're going to talk about kind of the overarching ClickFunnels platform in this lesson, so you kind of understand how it's working. And then the next one we'll actually be building our exact funnels. And so we talked a little bit in our last lesson about how we want to get customers there quickly. We want to capture their email address or their information quickly, and then we want to sell and upsell them from then on out. And so what we're looking at here, this is my main dashboard. Right when you log into ClickFunnels, this is what you're going to see. And down the line, you're going to have 10, 20, potentially even 30 funnels that'll show up here. I created a brand new account just for this course because I have a ton of funnels, and they're messy and they're all over, and I don't want to confuse people, and I have a lot of plugins and things running. And so this is a fresh, brand new account. There's nothing that's ever been built here. I just imported one funnel from my old one because it's my very first funnel. I thought it'd be fun for us to look at. So this is the dashboard. Each of these represent a sales funnel. So we talked a little bit about how a funnel is a bunch of steps that you'll put a customer through so that you can nurture them and upsell them. And so this is a funnel that I was trying to use, my very first one. So maybe we'll critique it a little bit. But it was trying to sell a YouTube course. And so this is my YouTube course funnel that I built when I very first started building funnels. This is a quick test funnel that I just put together so that we can look at it. And so you can see here all funnels. You can archive funnels if you're done using them, and we'll talk about how to do that. You can have shared funnels, and so people can often give you a link to their funnel, and you can actually import that funnel directly into your ClickFunnels account, and then you can just edit the text to match you. And people will do that all the time. In fact, they'll sell funnels in this marketplace right here, and you can go buy somebody else's entire process and just plug in your words. And so if all this isn't making sense, it's fine. We're about to dive into a funnel, and it'll make a lot more sense. So looking up here, we've got all funnels. We're not going to add a new funnel. We're just going to look at this kind of basic funnel that I had created originally. So let's go into test funnel 1. So there it is. Hopefully this doesn't look too confusing to you. But when you're looking at a funnel from this point of view, where you first click into it, this is your funnel-wide settings. So sometimes you'll want to make changes to an entire funnel, right? Maybe you want to add something that kind of stays with throughout the whole funnel, things like that. This is where you will do that. And so this is our funnel. We have an opt-in, and an opt-in is where somebody opts in. They give you their email address. So I'm going to show you real quick. This is an opt-in page. So we've got this kind of quick sell. We're like, hey, this sweet trick will help you get a lot of conversions, right? And then we have a video here that we'll embed, and we ask for their email address. Remember that, how we talked about how we want their email address as soon as possible and their name, and we give them their free thing. So, hey, I got this free report. There's a video here that we'll insert that'll talk about it, and they download the free report. That's the entire first page of our funnel. So we send people to this page from our marketing efforts, and we want to capture their email address as soon as possible on this page. So that's the first step in our funnel. Next to the funnel here, there's the next step. And so that's going to be a thank you page. And so as soon as they click that yes, I want the download, and they give you their email address, it's going to send them to the next page in the funnel. And that's this thank you page right here. Okay? And we can have a peek at that as well real quick. Thanks. Here's the report that we promised you, right? Download the report right here. And we've got their email address. Now this is a very simple funnel. Like I said, we haven't, but typically we'd start upselling them further down. So you like that free report? How about this? And then the funnel keeps going from there, right? And they click a button, say, yeah, I'm interested in that. Oh, okay. And that takes them to a third step and sells them on and on and on. But for the sake of just a quick funnel overview, we're just going to have a peek at this two-step funnel. Okay, so let's look real quick at the actual settings of this funnel-wide thing. So contacts. Contacts are once somebody fills out that email address. If anybody fills out an email address form anywhere within this funnel, they're going to show up as contacts. And so you'll be able to click in there and see who all has given you their email address. Let's go into funnel-wide settings and talk about those. Okay. So the first thing you need to know, you name each funnel. You can name it anything you want. I've named this test funnel 1. No one sees this but you, so just name it so that you're able to organize it accordingly. You can tag each funnel. So let's say you're selling tons of products and you want to tag your funnel so that you're able to quickly see just the ones that are selling this or just the ones that are dealing with that. Very easy to do. Domain. So we're going to show you in our, I think it's the 4th lesson, we're going to talk about how you can actually set up ClickFunnels to have a custom domain. And so instead of showing up here like .clickfunnels.com, which is how it'll show if you don't set it up, you can link it to a website that you already own. So for example, Buildapreneur has a lot of ClickFunnels running, or you can just buy a website and run the entire thing on ClickFunnels. But if you look in my Buildapreneur account, in fact, let's drag that in here. I have it open right here, so we will do that. I just shared the funnel. If you look at my Buildapreneur account, I've got 2 domains, the subdomain opportunities.buildapreneur.com and go.buildapreneur.com, right? And so we'll show you how to set that up, but you can essentially choose what you want the subdomain to be. So instead of saying app.clickfunnels.com right here / whatever you decide to do, it's going to say, it's going to say something opportunities.buildapreneur.com / something else. So that's what our first starting of the domain will be. And then we choose the path. And so the path is this section right here. What do you want it to say after you kind of do the initial domain? And you can set it to be whatever you want. I try to be very organized. But this is the path of the main funnel. So anytime I send anybody to this path, it's going to send them to the first step in this funnel. Whatever that is, it's going to send people to that first step. So I would usually name the entire funnel. We'll name this test funnel. And so right here, this would show as buildapreneur.com / test funnel. That's the path to get there. We'll talk about this in later lessons. This is where you put in tracking code. And so as you learn farther down the line, when you're doing marketing, you want to be able to track where people came from. So for example, if you're running Facebook ads, you want to know if somebody buys that they came from Facebook ads, right? So then you can know, I got to keep sending Facebook ads that way because they're clearly making my site lots of money. So Facebook's going to give you tracking codes to do that. We're going to talk about it, but this is where you'll put those tracking codes. Anytime anybody gives you a tracking code, this is where it's going to go. And that's going to put it in the entire funnel so you can track people in your entire funnel. Okay, so there's funnel-wide settings. You can connect it to different things. We're not going to talk about that in this lesson, but Zapier, if you use Zapier, webhooks, PayPal, things like that. There's tons of different things you can connect it to. But like I said, if you use those, it's kind of a separate lesson, and you can YouTube how to connect that really easily. So we're not going to talk about it. All right, let's take a peek again back at our actual funnel itself. So when we're done, we would click Save and Update Settings. And it'll take us back to the main funnel, right? So our funnel is currently 2 steps. We have an opt-in and we have a thank you page. So let's look at the kind of individual pages here. It's sitting on the opt-in right now, and we can mess with the settings of the opt-in. We can preview the opt-in, or we can edit the actual page. So let's look at the settings for this specific page. So if I click here, it'll show me this page, right? Settings. If I click here, same thing, but for this page. So let's go into the individual settings. It's very, very simple, similar to what we just talked about. You can name each page of your funnel. So I'm going to name this my sign up page. I would select my domain, which would be buildapreneur.com once it's connected, or whatever your domain is. And then we choose a path. Now, this is going to be very, very important for you to understand, and so I'm going to try to explain it very simply. And so we have the path there. You see we have a URL here, but we also have a URL for this first step of the funnel, and they're different, see? Now right now, if I put in this URL into my browser or this URL, it'd take me to the same place. Now here's why. This is taking me to the funnel. That is a URL that you'll use to send people to the funnel. Now further down the line, I might decide to add a step in front of this step. And so then that would be the one that they go to when they first show up. So this URL right here is just going to route you to whatever the first step in the funnel is. Whatever's right here in the funnel, that's where this URL is going to go. Now here, that will always take you straight to this opt-in page. This URL right here will always take you straight to this opt-in page. And there's kind of a reason for it, but I hope that makes sense, where you'll wanna put your ads, and whenever you're giving anyone a link to this, because further down the line you might decide to add a new page in front here, a different opt-in page or something like that, and you want to be able to continually send people to the same link that's been working. Now here's the really important thing to understand. Sometimes you'll actually have 2 pages that this URL can lead to, and let me explain. It's called A/B testing. And so if you haven't heard of it, A/B testing is essentially where you're trying to figure out which page gets the most people to opt in, right? So we have this page here, and the simple trick to insane conversions. And we're like, I wonder if that's the right thing to say. Maybe it'd be better if I said, this amazing, incredible trick will change your life and make you a lot of money through converting, right? Maybe that was a headline we tried. We're like, well, I don't know if I should do that one or this one, and we can't decide. And so there's something called A/B testing, where we can actually create a page called a split test, and we can create a page that has both of those. And then we can run traffic, and half of the traffic will go to this page, and half of the traffic will go to the other page that we were thinking might work. And we can start to see which of those pages does better, which one actually gets people to sign up. And once we are pretty sure, we've got 5,000 people and one page was clearly doing a lot better, then we can pick that page and only have it go to that page. But in the beginning, if you're really wanting to do well at ClickFunnels, you'll want to do tests. You'll want each page to have 2 variations of the page where you're testing one thing to see which does better. And so this URL will take you to the opt-in page, but the opt-in page might be 2 different pages running at once. It might send you to one page, or it might send you to another page that you're testing to see which one works. And so once again, this isn't the final URL of the page. And so that's when we get into the actual page right here. So this is the opt-in page, right? Which can be this page, or we can create a variation. We'll just do this really quick so that we can see what I'm talking about. So now we have a split test running. And so even though this is the opt-in page and this is the URL for the opt-in page, there's actually 2 separate opt-in pages. And you can set your traffic like this. There you go. We've got 50% going to this page, and we've got 50% going to this page. And so when someone goes to this URL right here, half of those people are going to end up on this page, and half of the people are going to end up on this page. And we can start testing which page is doing the best, which page does way better than the other page. And then when we figure out which page does better, we can stick with that page and go back to just one. But that's why we have this this URL right here, because that's not the actual URL of this page or this page. It's a URL that just sends people to one of those two pages, if that makes sense. It'll either direct them here or direct them here. So now let's go into the actual page settings. So we got this page and this page. We got settings and settings. Can you see how that's kind of making sense here? So let's go look at it. And there it is, the final actual URL of a page. So we'll select our domain. Well, we're just going to go default path. Now you remember we called that last one. What did we call that last one? We called that last one Optin, I think. So we'll name this one Optin/1. It's our very first test of our Optin page. Now we're going to name this page, settings, Optin/2. You know, it's our test. It's our test to see if Optin works. Update page. And then it looks like this one didn't save, so I'm going to change that real quick. The settings on this main Optin page, and we're going to call it main Optin page. Okay, update final step. It's going to send us back to this page. Now let's look at it to make sense. So if I go to here, this main URL, where's it going to take me? It's going to take me to that opt-in page. Why? Because it's the first step in that funnel. If I go to this URL right here, where's it going to take me? It's going to take me to opt-in 1. Why? Because it's choosing back and forth between this one and this one. Every other person is going to one of those pages while we test. Actually, looks like we forgot to save the 50%. So now it's doing that. Okay, and then if I go to the URL in this individual page, it'll definitely take me to the... Oop, I did not want to Google that. If I go to the URL of this individual page, we're just going to do it easier. We're just going to go like this. There it is, right? Opt-in 1. Opt-in 1. Or if I go to the URL of this individual page, there it is. See, Opt-in 2. Opt-in 2. And so I hope that makes sense. It's A/B testing. It's very important to succeed online to be able to know how to successfully A/B test. And so you'll always want to name every step. You've got to name this step right when you create your funnel. Right when you create a step in your funnel, you need to name that. And then when you actually create the individual pages, you'll want to name those individually. And that way we can start tracking, what does better, what does best. And then we'll go look at this thank you page, and we can do the same thing with the thank you page. We can have two different thank you pages that sell them two different things after they sign up for that. All right, real quick, before we move on to the next lesson, I want to explain the page editor. So we've kind of gone into settings and funnel-wide settings and kind of the whole structure of funnels and things of that nature. But I want to look at the actual editor real quick. And so when we go to edit our actual page, this is how we create and edit pages in this page editor. One of the coolest things about ClickFunnels is that you don't need to know HTML. It's almost as simple as creating a PowerPoint presentation. And so I just want to kind of go over that, and I want to go over specifically everything up here and see if we can make sense of that, because next time we're going to dive into all the different nuances of creating a single page. Okay, so we exit here. Very simple to know. Now this is very important. Your website and your funnel will always look different on a mobile and on a desktop, right? And so have you ever gone to a page on a phone and it's just the worst experience ever? You get there and the words are like all bunched up, or they're huge, or they're teeny, and you can't read it. There's just a million things that can go wrong. You immediately leave, right? You're like, this guy doesn't know what they're doing. This website's a joke, and you leave. And so it's very important that not only does it look good on a desktop, but it looks good on a mobile. It kind of makes it look just as good. You see that? So there's some sales text, video, kind of a simplified version there. And so it's very, very important that you always check both of these and make sure it looks good on both of them. And typically it will. And we're going to talk about how you can hide individual sections and individual pieces of it that you don't want to appear on mobile, or you can make it a little smaller on mobile if you want. There's a lot of things you can do. But this is where you'll view and edit in those two different things. This is apps, and we're not going to worry about that till later on. This is where you'll go to page-wide settings. And so the first one is called integrations. If you've connected your ClickFunnels account to some kind of email autoresponder, which we're going to teach you how to do in a later lesson, or you've connected it to pretty much any other outside account, right? So if you're a small business owner, a lot of you might use MailChimp. A lot of you will use CRMs, things like that. You'll want to connect those to your ClickFunnels account so it's all automated. So when someone fills out their email address, all the work is already done. You don't have to actually do all the work to send them a confirmation email and stuff. It's all automated. And that's integrations where we'll make that connection. SEO metadata. If you do SEO, you can try to put stuff in here. ClickFunnels isn't made for SEO. And so if you're trying to rank for something using ClickFunnels, honestly, it's probably not the best route. But if you're an SEO person and you want to change title tags and things like that, here's where you'll do it. This is where you'll add tracking code. And so we talked a little bit about how you might want to add tracking code to an entire funnel. If you use Facebook ads, and you probably will end up using some kind of ads down the road, you're going to want to be able to put tracking code on individual pages. And we'll talk about why that is later on. But sometimes you don't want a tracking code on the whole funnel. You want a code just on a single page of your funnel. And this is where you can add it to a single page. This is custom CSS, so if you know how to code, you can actually make the page look exactly like you want. Instead of just kind of dragging and dropping and stuff like that, you can customize it. Here's where you'll create the background for the whole page. And so we'll actually peek into that. So you can make a background image for the whole page, and we're overlaying things over this. And you're probably not even going to see anything, honestly. That didn't change anything. Oh, let's scroll down a little bit, actually. So it looks like, if we go to background here. Okay. Never mind. So we're creating things and we're placing them on a canvas, basically. And it looks like most of these things that we're creating are already big and covering the whole canvas. But if you make something small, there's going to be it has to have some background color, right? And this is what the background would be, whether it's a color or an image or something like that. Here's where you can set kind of the default fonts for a funnel. Custom font, content font, headline font. This is a headline. This is content. Hopefully that makes sense. You can set your default color. Default color if you link to something. Fairly easy to understand, I think. And then finally, general settings. This is actually very important. And so sometimes you might want to actually send people away from your funnel after they click. So maybe they submit their email address, and then you want to send them somewhere else. You want to send them to someone else's page, or go send them to your own website that you've already created, or to just anything that you want to send them to, instead of to the next step in the funnel. That's where this would go. So if I don't want it to go to that thank you page after they click submit their email address, I want it to go to, for whatever reason, I want it to go to buildapreneur.com. I just want it to go to my home page. Or maybe I want it to go to my Facebook page and say, hey, like my Facebook page. Any number of things that you could do. This is where you would do that. Digital assets we'll talk about later, but if they actually want to be able to download something on that page, you'll need to upload it here. Affiliate badge, people talk to me about this a lot. When you launch your funnel, there's going to be a little button here that says powered by ClickFunnels in this bottom corner. You're probably going to be annoyed by that. That's how you'll get rid of it. That's called the affiliate badge. Search engines, you can hide your page from search engines, which is like Google, Bing. If you don't want them to see it at all, I don't know why you wouldn't want them to ever see it, but you can hide it from them, and so that they can't find it, if that's how you want to go about it. And the last thing is you can save your whole page as a template. So if you're like, I made a good page, I spent forever on this, I want to build a very similar page for this other product, I don't want to have to go rebuild it all. You can save your page as a template, and then you're going to be able to go on later on, and we'll show you how to do that, and just pull that template and edit the words and pictures, and you're good to go. So this is where you do that. Pop-up, if you want to create a pop-up on your page, you just click show pop-up, and it'll pull one up, and you can make some kind of simple adjustments for text and images and things like that. You can edit the settings. There are some cool things with pop-ups. You can have it show up when they exit. So instead of having it show up right when they get to the page, you can have it show up right when they, watch my mouse here, right when they move their mouse up to this back button, you can have it trigger the pop-up and saying, hey, don't go, did you know about this, or something like that. So kind of some cool settings with the pop-up there. Exit out of that. Okay, and now we're going to talk about this in the next lesson. But the last part of this lesson, I want to talk about this bar right here. And so this is probably the hardest and easiest once you get it concept to understand, and it's how ClickFunnels pages are created. And so ClickFunnels' entire page is created in sections, and then inside sections you have rows. Rows are broken down into columns, and inside columns you have elements. And so we're kind of getting this goes in this, goes in this, goes in this, right? And so I'm going to show you real quick what a section is. A section is something that has the same background, and it goes all the way from one end of the screen to the other. And so a section is always highlighted in green. So here's a section right here, right? It's got the same background as you can see going from left to right. A section is an entire screen. Here's a section. See that? Green going from here to here. That's a section. Here's a section right here. Same background. Here's a section right. Oh, here's a section right here. So those are sections. So when you create a section, it's basically an empty item, and you can start putting in things inside your sections, which are rows. And so a row, bing, oh, it's highlighted in blue. See that? There is a row inside of that section. Rows are broken up into columns. And as you can see on that row, this row is 2 columns. So you've got column 1 and column 2 here. Column 1, column 2. So there's a section. Inside of a section, we have a row. And a row is broken up into columns. So if we went to add a row, we would see up to 6 columns that row could have. And then inside of each column, so inside of each column, here's 1 column, here's 2, we have elements. And those are highlighted in orange. So here's an element. Here's a headline element. Here's a bullet element. You see these bullets here. Here's just a regular text element. So we've got section. We've got row, we've got 2 columns in our row, and then we've got elements within our row. And if you understand that very basic concept, you'll be able to build entire websites in ClickFunnels with those things. You can just go to add. It's very simple to add, and we're gonna teach you how to do this next lesson, but I just kind of want to give you an idea of how easy this is. Say, hey, I want to add a 6-column row to this section right here. Boom, I've dragged it in there. Boom. Now I can add elements. Right? I can add elements to that row. Very, very easy. Add element. Here's the different elements. You can have paragraphs of text, images, pop-up images, videos, video pop-ups, buttons, text areas. They can sign up with their phone number to get text messages, icons, dividers, which is just space. We're going to talk about all this next time, but can you see there's tons of different things you can do once you understand the layout of a ClickFunnels funnel here, of a funnel page. So we get those 4. You can always preview a page right here. Boom, it'll show you a quick preview of what it's looking like. And then you can save here. One weird quirk about ClickFunnels, you need to click save before you preview. Otherwise, it will not show you the most recent changes that you've made. So you need to click save, and then you can click preview, and it'll show you the most recent changes that you made. Really kind of annoying thing about ClickFunnels, honestly, and I'll bet you it goes away eventually. But for now, if you're clicking preview and it's not showing you the things you just did, you probably need to click save before you do that. All right, lesson 2, we're going to really teach you how to use that page editor. So don't worry, this is not important, but I do want to show you how quickly you can create a very effective funnel. And so I'm going to speed it up a little bit so you don't have to sit there and watch me do the whole thing. But you can kind of watch this in 2 or 3 minutes and watch how quickly I can create a great web funnel in it'll probably take me about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, full disclosure, that took me 30 minutes, but I built the first page of the funnel completely from scratch. I didn't use any of their templates. As you saw, I started with absolutely nothing. And so let's see what I came up with. This is in 30 minutes what you're able to build from scratch. Nothing, right? Let's go preview our entire funnel. There it is, and Builderpreneur actually came out with a ClickFunnels review a while back. And so let's say we're trying to sell that even though I'm giving it away for free. The ultimate ClickFunnels review. Learn exactly how incredible ClickFunnels is in just 10 minutes, right? Here's my reasons to buy it. It's fast, it's focused, it's useful. Here's a sales video. This is actually the whole review. Little do they know. But there's a sales video. You want it? Okay, put in your email. Oh, looks like I already filled it out once, and that's why it's doing that. Put in your name, put in your email address, and I will teach you the ways. So, student I have money at gmail.com, right? This is somebody that's a potential customer. Teach me the ways. Oh, by the way, remember we talked about ClickFunnels showing that up right there? That's where it shows up. There it is. So the next step in the funnel, it just gave me that email address. ClickFunnels saved it for me. And there's the next page in the funnel. Thanks for signing up. In the meantime, you want to buy a watch? All right, so now we're upselling them to a $20 item. And they're like, yes, that video was incredible, so I'll buy any watch you want. Sure, I'll see this watch. Okay, and then here's some nice ugly watches for men. You know, I typed that in, but I don't find these altogether too ugly. I mean, that's pretty ugly, but anyways, you see how quick that was? I created this funnel that took this person, it captured their email address, and then it offered them an upsell and sent them to my website where they could then go shopping for that item. And I have their email address now, and so no matter what do they buy, they don't buy, I now have them as a potential customer who I don't have to spend money advertising on forever. You know, as long as I don't spam them and get them to report me as spam, I now have this potential customer for such a long period of time, and that's why it's so important to get that email address up front. But anyway, that was 30 minutes. So like I said, you can create entire funnels in a single day. You can create entire websites in a single day, and I can show you, and I will further down the line, entire websites I've created in ClickFunnels in a single day. So I hope you have a good idea now. This isn't that hard. Creating a funnel is not overly complicated. It's a very easy page builder. And next time we're going to go over all the individual parts of the page builder, and you'll feel, well, you won't feel comfortable, but you'll feel like you kind of get it, and we'll give you some homework. You can start building your own first funnel.